Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, so you folks, I'm playing a video series of videos I do for the while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat the stuff, I drink stuff, and folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about, hopefully delicious stuff, that time I'm doing this, folks. I mean, yeah, there's hot dogs, but that seems, completely exclusive, right? Like, we need to go over there and have hot cats and hot mastodons. I mean, they would be extinct, but, for back in the day, for back when you had cave people folk. I'm just saying, folks, let's include the entire animal kingdom in the hotness. But anyway, I'm inside the truck, but I'm not wearing a grody work shirt. Typically, that means that I went out for lunch. I found some stuff to review. That's very much the case today. I'm going to get into that in a bit, but I'm also wearing a cool shirt. Folks, when I wear a cool shirt, I like to highlight the shirt. What cool shirt am I wearing? Boom! I'm still rocking my Genkai shirt. If you're not familiar with Genkai, then you're probably not familiar with the anime Yu Yu Hakusho. I was a child of, what I really consider the first, big wave of, the big, push for, Western anime. Certainly anime had been around before then, but, Cartoon Network with, Toonami and Adult Swim, they really were pushing things. That's where we got Dragon Ball Z had already been around, but, and Sailor Moon. But that's where we started getting, Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star, and, it started being more of an active thing. Yu Yu Hakusho, I just immediately jived with. Absolutely loved it. Ever since then, I have the entire series on DVD, and I've even been fortunate enough to meet a few of the voice actors. I even got the voice actor for Hiei. The first time I went to meet him, I was like, oh, dude, you're so cool, blah, 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 blah. I was totally fanboying it up. And he's like, would you like me to go over there and say something in the Hiei voice? And I asked him if he could go over there and berate the character Kuwabara in the Hiei voice. I wish I'd had a smartphone at the time. I would have loved to have recorded that. Extremely nice dude. But anyway, Genkai is, one of my favorite characters, so cool shirt. Anyway, what am I trying for y'all today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, we've got an interesting twofer, folks, because we got, boom, Portillo's, and boom! It's just a generic white bag, but it's Scooby's. Scooby's Red Hots. Because, folks, Portillo's, known for their dogs. Scooby's, known for their dogs. What are we doing, folks? We're doing napkins. Open. Boom, hot dog. Boom, hot dog. Folks, we're doing the Battle of the Chicago Hot Dogs. Now, Portillo's is often seen as being a Illinois institution. They have a long and vaunted history within the state. A lot of people consider them to be, pretty much the standard to go by. I like Portillo's to a point. I think they have some good stuff, but I do feel the reputation, I think it's a little bit inflated, personally. I think there's other places you can get really good beefs and hot dogs. Scooby's is one of those places. I've always been more of a Scooby's guy myself, personally. But I did get to thinking, which one has the superior dog? Now, here's a caveat, folks. I got these just straight up, as they were there. I asked for a regular hot dog and a regular hot dog from Scooby's. Basically, they're both Chicago dogs. I will admit, despite having lived in Illinois my whole life, I'm not a big Chicago dog guy. I don't like onions. I'm not huge on relish. It's just not my thing, typically. But, for sake of the review, we're going to do it the proper way. So let's take a look at them first and foremost. Try to... there's already onions spilling on stuff. Onions. I don't get it. I feel like it's an old world thing that we need to get away from. No more onions, please. Like onions and certain things. Alright, so here we go. We've got the the Portillo's dog. Got big ass pickle. We got sport peppers. We've got some relish, mustard, no ketchup, Chicago style. So, and it looks like there's some tomato over there. So, that's that one. Let's take a look at the Scooby's dog. don't think I've ever had a Chicago dog from Scooby's, if I'm entirely honest with you. Just not a thing that I do, because they just have other stuff I like way better. So, same basic premise. Big ass pickle. I'm not a big pickle guy. Sport peppers, tomato, onions, and it's like, is there relish? Yeah, there's definitely relish. So, let's try to get a good thumbnail, folks. No! Don't spill everywhere, I beg of you. For the thumbnail! No. Yeah! Yeah! Hot dogs. Anyway, let's try some stuff. In terms of size comparison, they seem to be more or less the same. Portillo's maybe a bit longer, but we'll start with Portillo's since, like I said, they're often seen as being the standard. So, try to get a whole thing. We'll get the pepper and all this stuff. Oh. I forgot about the celery salt. Luckily, I like celery salt. I mean, I'm not going to lie, folks. Even though I'm not... I personally would prefer this with about 90% of the items off of it. But I will admit, that's still damn tasty. At the end of the day, it still tastes the hot dog, which the hot dog is really good. It's like an all-beef hot dog. And, you know, as far as like the pickles and all the other stuff is concerned, I mean, it's there, it's doing its thing. The celery salt is actually a big player. And the kind of nice thing about it is that with everything doing what it is, kind of diminishes like the impact of the onions and stuff, which again, I'm just not a big onion guy. But that's damn tasty. I can't, like I said, I can't even argue that. That's a really solid Chicago dog. Now, let's give Scooby's a shot. See how they stack up. Try to have this be a thing without it completely exploding all of the fuck over me. This is so messy. It's not the reason why I like Chicago dogs. It's just so much pain in the ass. Certainly very similar, but differences. For one, I don't think they use celery salt on this one. At the very least, if they did, they used a good deal less than Portillo's. Also, taste of the pickle's a little bit different. The other pickle was more kind of a standard pickle. This one, I don't know, like reminds me a little bit more of a Vlasic type of pickle. It's got a little bit more zing to it. And I kind of think that the hot dog stands out a little bit more, which might just be because the lack of the celery salt. Maybe without that there to contend. I definitely like the taste of the pickle better on this one. It's more, has a little bit of a sweetness to it. I'm not saying it's a sweet pickle, but it's at least sweeter than the other one. Okay. I mean, Okay. Well, there's pros and cons to both. Portillo's, I like the celery salt. I like that plays a nice role. I will say this, both of them exceeded my expectations. I haven't had a straight up Chicago dog since I was probably in middle school. I like them a lot more than I thought I was going to. Still wouldn't be my go-to hot dog choice. Again, there's other iterations that I prefer, but I'm more willing to give it to it. So yeah, I think the Portillo's dog has a little bit more going on with it. I think there's just a little bit more variety in the flavors, which is both good and bad for it. Because, like I said, I like the celery salt. I like some of the things that it's doing. But with the Portillo's dog, the thing that really needs to be the highlight is the hot dog itself. And by going over there and diminishing that a little bit, by, being a little bit less complex, the hot dog shines through better. Now, in terms of the quality of what I'm getting, they're honestly extremely similar. Like, I can't say both the hot dogs seem to be all beef hot dogs. Both seem to be cooked perfectly well. The sport peppers are sport peppers. Really, the only, big discernible difference, I would say, is the pickle. Like I said, it tastes maybe a little bit sweeter on the Scooby's dog versus the Portillo's. So, I honestly, in terms of trying to pick a winner between the two of them, I think I have to slightly edge it out for Scooby's, just because, like I said, ultimately, you are getting more of the hot dog experience, which is ultimately what I'm going in for. Like, it's nice to have all the extra stuff, but I want a hot dog. Now, I have to stress, though, it is almost a straight-up coin flip on this, because the Portillo's one, they're extremely similar. Like I said, there are different flavor notes, no two ways about it. Like I said, that's why I gave the edge to Scooby's. But fundamentally, these are very similar hot dogs. They're both very solid Chicago dogs. I can't complain about either of them. It really, for me, I think it just comes down to, it's just, what do you want out of it? Like I said, I think Portillo's, they have a little bit more going on. I do like the celery salt flavor, but I want a hot dog experience, and ultimately Scooby's just a little bit better for me personally. And that's strictly to my palate. And like I said, I could genuinely go either way on this. Like, 9 times out of 10, I would just be perfectly good with either. The 10th time, though, I would want Scooby specifically. That's how close it is. Scooby's, Portillo's, you've both represented yourselves well here with the Chicago dogs. You've even managed to go over there and take me, who's not a big Chicago dog guy, and make him a little bit of a convert. Not full on, I'm going to go over there and start bathing in Chicago-style hot dogs. That would just be, grody. But you did make me not hate them, and I kind of thought I might. And actually, I liked both of them, and I'm certainly going to finish both of them. So, for me personally, Scooby's is the winner, but it's a photo finish, and I really do think that Portillo has managed to really show up, and both of them are really good. So that's my personal takeaway, folks, is one, technically a native Chicagoan, since I was born in Chicago and lived there for, first, several years of my life, but I'm more of a suburbs guy now, I'll fully admit, but I am a native Illinoisan, born and bred, so that's my take on Scooby's versus Portillo's, at least as far as their hot dogs are concerned. Now, they do have other stuff. Maybe I'll go over there, do a battle of the Italian beefs. We'll see what happens. But anyway, folks, that's going to do it for me on this one. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, mighty motor rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You can go over there and have yourselves a truly hot dog-tastic rest of your life. Because, folks, even if you're not into hot dogs, like maybe you're, vegan or vegetarian, well, they have, plant dogs and stuff like that. Hell, I did a review of the plant-based dog from Portillo's. So even then, you got options. I don't think Scooby's does a plant dog. Final two things, folks. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But you can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You try not to be an asshole. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, folks. That's why, but try at the very beginning of it. That's very deliberate. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to struggle. We're going to have times in our lives when, maybe we're not eating 2 delicious hot dogs. Maybe our lives aren't going that great and we're just stressed out and we just revert to asshole state. It happens. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us next time. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there and have yourself a delicious Chicago-style hot dog, as I have done here today in this review. And, maybe like me, you'll enjoy it more than you thought you would. But here's the kicker, folks. Maybe you're living in, like, Minnesota or some shit. You're not even in Chicago or Illinois entirely. All right? And you're over there, but maybe there's, like, a little mom-and-pop place. Somebody, moved and started up there. And you're over there, you're like, that's so damn good. I got to go to Chicago and get the most legitimate thing that I possibly can. And you come over to Chicago. You go over there, see the Sears Tower and the Bean and Navy Pier and all the things and such. Take in the atmosphere and all the stuff. You're going to get taxed up the ass. That's part of the experience too. Ain't no two ways about it. But then maybe you go over there. Maybe you find yourself on a corner where there's a Scooby's on one side and a Portillo's on the other, which I don't think exists, but it might. And you go over there and you're like, what is my heart telling me? And then you'll make that decision. You'll have to live with it, but you'll make that decision. Or conversely, maybe just go over there and get a hot dog of whatever style wherever you happen to live. Like every state has their own style of hot dog pretty much, so go with that. I'm sure they're all delicious. Bye.